Good day everyone, I am Kiana Arisara from BSc E2A and I am here to discuss my video presentation in Highway and Railroad Engineering. So before I start the discussion, I want to remind you that you can pause this video to read the important things. So here's the table of content of this video presentation. Chapter 1, Introduction to Transportation Engineering. For example, it is easy to observe that there is a strong correlation between human settlement development and transportation proximity. There is also a strong correlation between the quality of transportation and the standard living, and society expectation of transportations are high. Under transportation engineering, we have first the transportation system. It can be defined as a combination of the elements and their interaction. This definition is general and flexible enough to be applied to different contexts. So we have here 4 terms of transportation system. The first characteristic, study context, background, a changing world, and the role of transportation engineer. We have here the characteristic of transportation system that makes it diverse and complex. First is the multimodal. It covers all modes of transportation. Next is the multi-sector. It covers issues and perspective of the governments, private companies, and the general public. The third one is the multi-problem. It ranging across a spectrum of issues that includes national and international policy. Next is the multi-objective. And the last one is the multidisciplinary. It references to the theories and methods of engineering, economics, and etc. If we have the characteristic in transportation system, of course we also have its context, and these are the following: planning range, passenger transport, freight transport, and international transport. In particular, a strong interrelationship and interaction between transport and the rest of the society important for traffic planners in a rapidly changing world. Among them, 4 critical dimensions of change in transportation system can be identified in change in the demand, changes in the technology, change in operational policy, and the change in values of the public. Finally, the last term is the role of transportation engineer. So as I said in the definition of transportation engineering, they are responsible for planning, designing, and maintenance of civil engineering projects relating to transport networks. So transport engineering involves the analysis and evaluation of traffic signals, signs and markings, as well as the condition of the environment surrounding the infrastructure. Transportation engineering can be broadly consisting of the 4 major parts, and that is transportation planning, geometric design, pavement design, and the traffic engineering. So in transportation planning, it can influence everything from business to recreation to quality of life. In geometric design, it includes transverse features, horizontal alignments, vertical alignments, and intersections. Pavement design, it is the design mainly includes structural aspect, functional aspects, and the drainage. The last one is the traffic engineering. In short of this, it is the role of transportation engineers is to protect the environment while providing the mobility they lack, ensuring economic activity and ensuring the safety of people. Now we move to the next chapter, which is the introduction to highway engineering. So road building became known in late 20th century after World War II, and the road construction standards are constantly moving. So here I discuss the history of highway engineering. The history of road building gives an idea of ancient road, and in this section, of course, it discusses the details of ancient road, Roman roads, English roads, British roads, and more. First is the ancient roads. We have 2 modes of transport here. The first one was by foot, and the second was the use of animals for transporting both men and materials. Under the second mode of transport, the invention of the wheel is happened, and it led to the development of animal-drawn vehicles. To provide enough power to carry the wheels, newer trails tended to follow the sunnier, drier side of the trail. After the invention, the development of animal-pulled vehicles created the need for paved roads. The second one is the Roman roads. So it is the earliest large-scale road construction is attributed to the Romans. They are an amazing achievement and made for travel time. Their roads are very durable and some still exist, and both sides of the street were separated by a longitudinal ditch. The next step was the construction of the Ager. It raised structure up to 1 meter high and 15 meters wide. The top surface of the pavement structure of the Ager was very different. Of course, it also had the main feature. Concrete was thus a major innovation in Roman road construction. The third one is the French roads. It is the next major development in the road construction. In 1764, Pierre-Marie Jérôme Tresaguet gave his significant contributions, and these are the following. So this created major problems with drainage, but this was counteracted by as impervious surface as possible, arches and deep side groups. For this, he divided the roads between village into sections of such land that an entire road could be covered by maintenance men living nearby. The fourth one is the British road. So here's British engineer John McAdam. He introduced what can be considered as the first scientific road construction method. By empirical observation of many roads, he came to realize that 250 mm layers of well-compacted broken angular stone would provide the same strength and stiffness and a better running surface than in expensive pavement founded on large stone blocks. The last one is the modern roads. The modern roads by and large follow McAdam construction method. Development of new equipments helps in the faster construction of roads. This also increased demand has led to the emergence of other modes of transportation such as rail and air travel. And as a result, the available road space became insufficient to meet the increasing traffic demand, resulting in congestion. Chapter 3. The role of transportation in society. So it is very closely related to lifestyle, the scope and location of activities, and the goods and services that can be consumed. Movements like this have changed the way people live and travel. We have 4 different roles of transportation in society, which are the economic role of transportation, the social role, the political role, and the environmental role. The first role is the economic role of transportation. It involves the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. Therefore, there is a great need for resources transport from one society to another, and these resources are the place, time, quality, and utility of goods, change in location activities, and the conclusions. As you can see in this slide, it is the 3 resources of economic role of transportation, and it have an example for us to understand more about this. The second one is the social role of transportation. Other facilities such as food and water availability also play an important role, but the contribution of transport can be clearly seen in the formation, size, structure, and development of society, especially the urban centers. As I said, you can pause this video to read these important things for you to more understand this role. The third one is the political role of transportation. So transportation plays an important role in the functioning of such political entities. We have 2 political entities: the administration of an area and the political choices in transport. So in administration of an area, local governments need to be able to send and receive information to and from their local residents. However, with the advent of communication, it's important to diminish slightly. In political choices in transport, this option can be categorized into communication, military and passenger movements, and the cargo movements. It is also required for the rapid movement of troops in emergencies and ultimately the movement of people and goods. Finally, the last role is the environmental role of transportation. So when it comes to transport, the negative effects of transport dominate over its beneficial aspect. So there are many categories in which environmental impacts are categorized. Here are the environmental impact that I used to determine. We have first, of course, the safety, the air pollution, the noise pollution, and lastly is the energy consumption. As we all waiting, finally we reach the last chapter, which is the factors affecting transportation. In this chapter, I elaborated the silent human, vehicle, and road factors affecting the transportation. Human factors affecting transportation. So, for example to this, traffic lights adjusted to allow average pedestrian to cross and road safety can be a serious threat to older people. So, the design consideration should be safety. Efficiently accommodate the elderly, children, disabled, slow, fast, and good and bad drivers. So here are the human factors affecting transportation. First is variability. The human characteristics like ability to react to situation, vision, and hearing, and other physical and psychological factors vary from a person to person and depends on age, fatigue, nature of stimuli, presence of drugs, alcohol, etc. Second is the critical characteristic. Third is the reaction time. The time taken to perform an action according to the stimuli involves a series of stages like perception, intellection, emotion, and volition. So, for example to this is that. Fourth is the visual acuity in driving. So, traffic control measures. PIEV time is reduced when visibility is clear and accurate. This is important when placing traffic signs and signals, but other factors such as dynamic vision, depth perception, etc. must also be considered for an accurate design. Last is walking. The most common road users are pedestrians. However, the influence of physical, mental, and emotional factors should be considered. Facilities such as parking lots, traffic lights, bus stop overpasses, and underpasses shall be laid out and designed according to the maximum distance of that users can walk. The next factor is the vehicle factors. It is important to know about the vehicle characteristics because we can design road for any vehicle but not for an indefinite one. The road should be such that it should cater to the needs existing and anticipated vehicles. Some of the vehicle factors that affect transportation is discussed in this slide. The first one is the design vehicles dimension, weight axle configuration, etc. The turning radius and the visibility. Finally, the last factor is the road factors. So, road users can be defined as drivers, passengers, pedestrians, etc. who are used the road or highway. Some of the road factors that can affect transportation is discussed in this slide. First is the road surface. For heavy traffic volumes, a smooth riding surface with good all-weather anti-skid properties is desirable. Second is the lighting. It is important to plan road lighting based on the wide range of traffic information such as nighttime, vehicular, and pedestrian traffic and experience with accidents. Third is roughness. Drivers tend to want smoother surface when given a choice. Fourth is the pavement colors. Contrasting pavements may be used to indicate preferential use of traffic lanes. A driver tends to follow the same pavement color having to drive in some distance on a light or dark surface. He expects to remain in a surface of that same color until he arrives at the major junction point. Last is the night visibility. Since most accidents occur at night because of the reduced visibility, the traffic designer must strive to improve nighttime visibility in every way he can. An important factor is the amount of light which is reflected by the road surface to the driver's eye. I guess this is the end, and that's all for my presentation today, and I hope you learn a lot from this video. Thank you so much for listening and watching.